Hello, Andrea St. Amand here. Today we're talking about fears that hold us back from embarking on our hero's journey. So for those of you watching this video later, I had asked folks in my Facebook group, what is the fear that is keeping you from your dreams or from at least stepping and heading toward your dreams? So I'm going to be addressing some of those comments that everyone so soulfully and heartfully shared. So first of all, just keep in mind there are two types of fears. There's the fear that's learned, that from our own past experiences or that society has ingrained in us. And then there's the fear of the unknown. So both of them are actually kind of healthy because they keep us from jumping off a cliff or stepping in front of a bus. But when you have fear, it's real. And so many people try to talk themselves out of fear, or they try to there's this whole like power of positive thinking thing going on right now, which I don't think is actually healthy. I mean, just a little bit, but it's not healthy to the point where you are actually ignoring your legitimate emotions. And fear is a truly legitimate, real emotion. And a lot of us try to start doing mental gymnastics in our head and overanalyzing everything to be like, well, I shouldn't be afraid of this. And you try to talk yourself sideways. Well, it's real, it's there. And if it's there, we are not going to get rid of it by analyzing it. It might help a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. So this is like that dance with the devil. Like we are literally dancing with this devil, but we're at least dancing. And the only way to get rid of it, I love what somebody said, is that in one of the comments, that eventually you just get bored with yourself. And I love that. That has always been an instigation for me to change too. I'm like, I'm just sick of this situation. I'm sick of that loop going around and around in my head. Or we see another devil across the room who's a little bit more handsome, so we decide to go dance with that devil, and then we get rid of the devil that we're dancing with. But the main thing about fear, the only thing to really do with it, is to do something with it, to take action. So feel the fear and do it anyway. I know, it sucks. It's terrible. But nobody doing anything, especially anything new, or nobody being an entrepreneur, nobody being an artist, nobody in the working with intuition or psychic abilities or mediumship abilities does not have a healthy dose of fear constantly, but we do it anyway. We just keep doing it anyway because nothing's going to hold us back. So it's totally okay to feel fear. I get it. You have permission to feel it. And then I'm yanking my thing out of my ears. But go forward anyway. Try it. Take some extra action. So here are some of the comments. The first one was, is there a healthy ego? This person said, I'm actually really afraid of my own ego and the destruction it has caused people in the past. Yes, there's a healthy ego, and ego is just like fear. Ego's gotten a bad rap. Ego is like our personality. It's our friend. Ego is what gives us ambition. Ego is what moves us forward. So I'm going to guess here that fear of causing other people pain. Whenever it may be that you're holding yourself back because you're worried if you take the action you want, that people around you are going to be hurt, which happens every time there's a breakup, right? Every time we outgrow a situation and we have to get a divorce or we have to leave a job, we have to do anything, we're afraid that we're going to hurt people, and we do hurt people, especially in a personal relationship situation when we're leaving, and it's because we're perceiving that we're leaving them behind. And guess what? That's their choice to be left behind. It's totally their choice. So when we outgrow something, the people around us, it's 100% their free will, their choice to step it up and come with us, support us, or get left behind. It's terrible. But a lot of times, so many of us stay in a relationship way past its expiration date with friends, with everything else, because we're trying to get them to move along and they're just not coming. I heard this yesterday actually from one of my teachers. She said, here's the deal. When you're out of congruence with the people around you, be it your friends, your family, your spouse, anything, when you are out of congruence with the people around you, you are not serving them by staying behind. You're not serving them. It actually serves everybody around you better if you take action and you leave and go, because maybe you're going to be the one leading them into stepping up. But will they kick and scream and get hurt? Yes, probably. Anyway, keep going. Use your ego to propel you into new action. All right, what if it's all in my head and I just have a really good imagination? I've done a video on this. So you guys, I've done videos. When pop over into the video section, if you hover or just click, you'll see the title and you could see whether certain topics have been addressed or not. Imagination has gotten such a bad rap, like our ego and fear. We cannot do anything with imagination. What if it is just your imagination? That's amazing. It's amazing that we all have great imaginations. We would not have electricity without imagination. I wouldn't have this like nice shirt that I like so much without imagination. Somebody had to think it up. But imagination is the first step in developing intuitive, psychic, and mediumship abilities. It's the first step in witchcraft. You can't do magic without imagination. You just can't. So imagination is fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. But I love the fact that several people said, what if it's just my imagination or that I'm going to be a flake? The fact that you are actually concerned about that means that you are wanting to approach this with ethics and grounding, and you want to be your highest and best self, which is great. So with imagination and being worried that if I'm a flake, it's like anything else. Or the other people go think I'm a fake or flake. Get a teacher and get skills and practice, 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 and you will very quickly start to learn, this is my imagination, which I love very much, or this is my own guide dropping images into my head just for the sake of my own entertainment, which happens to me a lot. No messages, just my own entertainment. Or I'm actually in a reading with somebody who's given me permission to read them, and I'm getting something. And imagination is a big, big, big part of that for anybody who does this work full-time like me. I'm constantly saying, all right, this information's coming, maybe I have an active imagination, but every time I give it to my client, it's spot on. So you just learn to trust that it's not your imagination, it's coming through your imagination. That's the tool that Spirit's using to communicate with you. People are going to think I'm crazy. That's okay. Let them. If they're thinking you're crazy, and one sweet woman said, everyone, friends and family already know there's something wrong with me. All right, you're out of congruence with the people you're around. You just are. So get some people around you who don't think there's anything wrong with you, but know how blessed you are. If they think you're crazy, that's their problem. It's not yours, because you're not going to act crazy. You are not going to be that person who runs up to a stranger on the street and gives them a message because you don't have permission. You're not going to give your family messages unless they come to you with a specific problem. So you're not going to act crazy. I actually I didn't make any big announcement to all my former law partners that, oh, guess what? I'm now a practicing psychic medium. I just quietly went to school. I got my teachers, took classes, took more classes, took more classes, took more classes, got my practice clients. That scared me to death, but I did it. Then started charging people, just word of mouth. And finally, then I just put a website up and got my Facebook page up and was like, there it is. But I never told anybody. So if my former law partners stumble upon me now and find it, they'll know. But I'm not going around with a billboard announcing what I'm doing, because if they think I'm crazy, I can't really help that. The other thing I want to say is that my fear is that I am just a fake. Well, you're not, because you're in here. You're definitely not a fake. So just get some classes and have fun with it. I want to talk, though, a little bit. If I do use my skills, I will mess it up and make things worse. You can't mess anything up. You get skills first, and then you cannot mess anything up. Somebody comes to you with a problem, and you can give them guidance. I do want to talk a minute, compare this situation to jailhouse lawyers. I don't know if I have any lawyers watching this, actually. I know you know what I'm talking about, though. They're all the criminals that are in the jail, and they're sending you letters, and they're like, this case says that, and you need to put this case in my brief, or you need to argue this case. And they give you all these cases, and I'm like, yep, that case does have that sentence in it. That's true. But that case does not stand for the proposition that you're claiming it does. So think about all the time, like it was hard. They didn't have a trained mind. So yes, they could read case law, but they didn't have a trained mind. It's the same thing with any of the intuitive arts or any of the spiritual arts. You have to have a trained mind. You have to have a frame of reference, and you have to have a very, very solidly framed mind. So nobody except jailhouse lawyers, who are the inmates, think they're lawyers without going to law school. Most of the rest of the population knows that they have to go to law school. So this spiritual stuff is the same thing. You got to go to school, you got to train, you got to get practice, and then over time it's experience, and you know then what's going on. You're not messing anything up or hurting anybody. My fear is Fear of being destitute. Um, and fear is I'll starve before I make any money. Fear of being destitute, that's real. Hey, run with that. That's nobody should be destitute. That's not what we're here for. So that is a very, very healthy fear. So don't just start somewhere. Start taking action. Starving before I make money would start. Just start. Double dog dare you. Just start. I put in the new description of the about section of this Facebook page that I dare you to start becoming something you've never been before. And maybe that means starting to get some skills. I know some people in here are already starting, or they have them, but they're not charging, or they're not getting clients. The internet's a great place. So the way you start with it, with a business, like any other business, you get a marketing campaign in place. You figure out how you're going to get leads. You figure out how you're going to drive people to your product, whatever your product is, and start. Just start somewhere. You can start small and see what works. And if it doesn't work and you don't like it, then take other steps. And you don't have to do internet stuff. You can do work in your local shops or at fairs or anything, but just start trying something new that you're not currently doing. And you're not going to make money overnight. It's going to be a constant process. There's other entrepreneurs who are here like, oh my gosh, started my own business, the fear of failure. Yeah, it's constantly you're on the edge of your seat. But for you, those of you who do have a job, don't give up your day job before you have your steady stream of income coming in from something else. And I know that means you're going to be working around the clock for a while, but that's what starting a business is like. Or y'all could just get yourself a sugar daddy. No, that's not an answer. I mean, but you could. There's lots of solutions to any problem, right? We should live, too bad we don't have like patrons like we used to. I actually, speaking, I'm going to throw this out there. A very good novelist who I know and who writes thrillers. Her name is Taylor Stevens, because her story is interesting. Go look it up if you're interested. She has children. She's divorced. She's a single mom. And writing novels for a career, you get paid in like kind of a lump sum. You don't get paid much. So then, like when the book gets published, like there's these kind of payment dates, but it's definitely not a steady income. And the editor, the publishing house, could push the books back. So novelists have to really make those first payments stretch out. And she went on Patreon and she's a New York Times bestseller, but she's like, if anybody let's go the old fashioned route. If anybody wants to help me and sort of be a patron for me on an ongoing basis, so I can get through, so I have some money to get through the ups and downs. And then so they're kind of investing in her. So artists, I don't know if that would help you. I haven't looked into Patreon, but I'm just throwing that out there. There are all kind of creative solutions for ways you guys can make money and live in abundance and start trying different things to see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, let it go and try something else. All right. Then I'm not as good as the other artists I've seen. Comparison energy kills us. So when I went to law school, everybody said, why are you going to law school? There's too many lawyers. And my response was, there's not enough good ones. There's a ton of carnival psychics out there, right? There are a ton of wannabe writers. There's a ton of painters. I totally get that. But I'm not going to name you. I have seen your work, though. The woman who wrote this, you are amazing. That comparison energy is terrible when you're comparing yourself to it. Just try to stop it. Acknowledge that's there. See if there's something from that artist that you can actually learn from. I'm sure you're doing that already. And then just like, don't, it's such a trite thing to say, don't worry about it, but that energy is real and it's terrible and it'll keep you down. So try not to wallow in comparison energy, because you have your own unique gifts. You do stuff that no one else can do because no one has lived your life. You are the only one who has your set of circumstances, your gifts, your failures, your heartache, your issues. You're the only one that has them. And all of that bundle of energy comes into your canvas or whatever work you do, but you're the only one who can do that, and that will resonate with somebody. So just keep on being you to the best of your ability. Started my own business. Yeah, I think I addressed that one earlier. You do get just bored going the same thing over and over again. That actually leads into the fear of failure and perfectionism. So let's start about the fear of failure and the starting their own business thing. We have to constantly course correct. First of all, fear of failure, I give all of you permission to fail. It's another thing in society that has a bad rep. Failures are awesome. They don't feel good. They don't feel good at all, but they force us to course correct. We might have a fantastic idea, like, I know I'm going to do this, and you do it and you put everything in and you get crickets. You get nothing. So you feel like a failure. I mean, you just, but you actually course correct from that, because if you love what you're doing, you're like, okay, let me find a different audience. Okay, maybe this isn't my thing. So I am definitely a failed novelist. After I stopped practicing law, I only wanted to write novels. I wanted to make up stuff. And so I wrote 2 novels and I sent them off to New York. And this first, I got a little traction. The second one, I got traction if I rewrote it and put it from this angle, and if I did that, and if I did all this. So I did all that, but it took me like months, and by the time I had done all that, that wasn't the hot thing anymore. So I just wasted like the last 2 years of my life. Well, I did it. It forced me to course correct, though. It forced me to get so freaking bored with that process of like, okay, what do I really want to write? What stories do I really want to tell? And I got so mad. I just woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, I am bored with failing at this venture. So I'm going to do something that works, that I know I love. And I started doing walking tours in Charleston, which I love, walking around Charleston talking about local vampires. I mean, that's awesome. And I've already made more money at that than I ever would have made in those novels. And then that's what led me into outing myself as a psychic medium. Perfectionism. We all know that none of us are going to be perfect ever, ever, ever. But perfectionism is your friend. It's totally your friend. It's the thing that's going to lead you to excellence. And especially in artistic endeavors, in the spiritual arts, and anything that we're doing in entrepreneurship, that drive is going to lead you to be great at what you do. So don't let it hold you back. Use it to push you out the door. Use it to make you get better and better and better. It's a great tool when you can flip it around and use it in your favor. Fear of success, that kind of goes back to the first one we talked to. A lot of people are afraid of success because success is going to bring a spotlight on you, maybe. Or success might force you to grow, and then you might be outgrowing other people around you. That's a legitimate, totally legitimate fear. There was something else I wanted to say as I was yapping, and it completely lost my mind. Does anybody have any other questions over here in the comments section? I see lots of hellos. I'm so glad you guys watched today. Well, if there's any moral of this story, it is that fear is real. Go with it. Feel the fear. Do it anyway. You're going to be fine. It might not feel good, but do it. Just do it. Take some new action. Get a teacher. Just take some new action. Anything. Start charging for what you're already doing. Love your art. Love you guys. All right.